Hey everybody, it's Lolly, and today I'm here to do a little bit of a different kind of video for y'all. Now, first off, let me just do this. First off, I know what you're kind of thinking. You're probably thinking, what the fuck is wrong with Lolly's hair? Why does she look like that? As you can see, I dyed my hair. It's purple, but I washed it yesterday, so it's kind of like faded purple. And it's kind of a mess, which is, I washed it, so it's a mess. So, excuse the mess. And I'll probably do a video on like the whole bleaching process, because I did it all by myself. I bleached my own hair, and I did like a whole bunch of shit. It took me like 3 days to like fucking get this. But I'll do that's a whole nother video for another time. You're probably thinking, Lolly, you have not uploaded a video in like 3 months. What the fuck is going on? So here's the thing, school happened, right? This is my senior year, for those of you who don't know, and I have to try like super duper hard to like get through it because I fucked up junior year, so I'm kind of making up for it. And we're having exams. We're currently in an exam period, and we had a half day today, so I figured I might as well make some sort of video for y'all, because I haven't made any video like at all in like a long ass time, so I didn't know what to do. Decided that I would open up a new series on this channel called Lolly's Storybook, because I didn't want to call it Storytime, but I'm still probably gonna label this video Storytime. But in the series, it's gonna be called Lolly's Storybook. All right. This is a Storytime or Lolly's Storybook video about the time where I was rejected by my my first middle school / high school crush. Where I got this idea to do this video, I have no idea. I was thinking, because you know how when you like try to, you're like, oh, I want to do a story time, and you sit there and you think about all the shit that you've been through your entire fucking life. And I was sitting there trying to figure out what did I want to do. I was having a conversation with Jay earlier, and we somehow got on the topic of the guy, because he knew him. We were all in the same school, so he knew him. And he was like, why don't you do a story time on that? So here we are today. I'm gonna tell you guys about the guy that I had a crush on from 7th grade to like, I want to say 9th grade. 7th to 9th, that was about 3 years. I had a crush on this guy. I'm gonna call him, because I don't want to throw his name out. I don't know what to call him. I'll call him Josh. I don't know. We'll just call him Josh. Such a weird name. Why did I choose that? Yeah, we'll just call him Josh. So, back in 7th grade, well, first of all, let me just give y'all like a little bit of backstory, right? 7th grade, I started listening to K-pop around 6th grade, right? And y'all can't act like y'all ain't never, let me fix my camera. Y'all can't act like y'all ain't never been through this, alright? So don't try to come at me in the comments, alright? Don't try to like talk shit. Every person who has ever liked K-pop has been through this phase, the Koreaboo phase, right? So 6th and 7th grade, and a little bit of 8th. I was still going through my Koreaboo phase, right? It's where, because you listen to K-pop and you see all these hot guys and you're thinking, oh my god, and you start like fetishizing Koreans, and it's terrible, and I really hate myself for fucking doing it. But look, I own up to my mistakes, and I've made a lot of progress since then, and I don't do it anymore. But I think it's important to own up to your mistakes, right? And I'm owning up to my mistakes. And a couple years ago, when I first got into K-pop, I was a Koreaboo. I will just straight up admit it. I'm just gonna admit it, because I mean, there's no point in hiding it. So because of that, I was really into K-pop, and I liked a lot of Asian guys at the time. But now that I'm thinking back on it, I'm not sure if I liked Asians because of K-pop or just general, because I remember having a crush on a few other Asians back when I think about it, like in elementary school and whatnot. But you know, whatever. So that was when this time period is when that really fluctuated. Like, I really liked Asian guys, which is terrible. I know it's so bad, and I cringe every time, but it's so bad. But I really liked Asian guys, right? So there was this guy. I don't remember where I saw him. In 7th grade, we had switched buildings, because the school I was in 6th grade, we had our own building, and then we merged with another school, so then we moved to another building. And we had moved into another building, and in 7th grade, I think I saw him like in lunch or something like that, and he was like at a group with his friends or whatever, and I was sitting with my friends, and I noticed him because I thought he was cute, right? So I look over and I'm like, oh my god, he's cute. And I'm like talking to my friend, she's gonna be, I have two friends that were really vital in the story, so I'm gonna give them names because I don't want to throw them out, because yeah, I don't want to throw them out there, so I'm gonna give them some names later on when I get there. But yeah, I was talking to my friend, and I was like, oh my god, he's so cute and whatever. And you know, I didn't think anything of it. I was just like, oh, it's just a crush. You know how you crush on a guy and you never like talk to him or nothing like that, but you just crush on the guy. So that was 7th grade. And then, yeah, I liked him basically from the entirety of 7th grade, but I never talked to him. It was just really awkward. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm a very awkward person, alright? And especially, look, I've changed, right? I'm not the same person that I was back then. I was even worse in 7th grade, okay? I was like, so freaking like, cringe. I was like, okay, I would like stick to me and my group, right? And I was really scared to talk to anybody else that wasn't in my clique, because I would think that I would freak them out, because I was really not into weird shit. But you know how you're weird, right? Like, I'm weird, and I knew that that would kind of turn other people off. So I was like really stuck to my people, because I didn't want to weird anybody else out, because people already thought I was weird. People like legitimately, for my entirety of middle school and high school, I was categorized as the weird girl. And that was literally like my thing. People bullied me because I was weird. I never let it get to me or nothing like that, but people bullied me because I was weird. Yeah, I was super duper shy. I never liked public speaking. I only talked to my friends for the most part. If my friends weren't in the class with me, I just had my hood up and I would write a lot. I'm super duper into writing. Like, I really love writing stories and whatnot. And I usually write stories about whatever thing I'm into. At the time, I was super duper into K-pop, so I write a lot of K-pop stories. So I would always be like hood up, like staring down, writing some. Like, I would never talk to anybody. So I was like super duper fucking awkward. But I was, at that time, I was really boy crazy. I think I don't think I wanted a boyfriend as much as I just really liked the idea of having a crush and chasing after a guy. That's kind of what you go through at that time. So I just really liked guys. But, you know, obviously me being my stupid, dumb, awkward self, I never talked to nobody, so I just kind of kept that to myself. So I liked them for the entirety of 7th grade, and then we moved to 8th grade, and I had a class with them. Now, at the end of the day at my school, back then, we had like 7, 8 class periods, I think, and the last period would switch between A days and B days or something like that. Yeah, it was A day and B days. So like A day, I had Spanish that hour, and B days, I had history that hour. And in the Spanish class, he always sat behind me, so I never really, like, you know, saw him. He always sat somewhere behind me. But in history class is where I really noticed this, because in our history class, we were all sat in like groups where, you know, you put the 4 desks together and it'd be like a group, right? So it'd be at my group. So it was me, and this is me and my group, right? And it'd be me and my friend. I'm gonna call her Sky. I don't know. It was me and my friend Sky. We sat next to each other, and we were like super duper best friends, so we always sat next to each other. Then there was 2 empty seats in front of us because no one really sat with us because we were the weird kids. And then his table with him and his friends was like right across from us, right? So like, I'm facing this way, this is where the desk face, and his was like right over here. So I would be looking this way, but the way his desk sat, he'd be looking this way, right? So he'd be looking like in my direction. So literally, I'm not even fucking kidding. I'm not like trying to exaggerate or nothing like that, because, you know, sometimes I'm dead fucking serious. Anytime in that class, I'd be doing my work, I'd be talking to my friend, I'd be doing whatever the fuck I'm doing, he would always stare at me. I'm shaking the camera. He would always stare at me. So then, for the first like couple weeks or whatever, I was thinking like, okay, maybe he like, I'm just thinking that because I like him and I'm thinking that he's staring at me, but he probably isn't. So I just like blew it off. Months and months after that, like the entirety of the fucking 8th grade year up until, you know, the whole thing, stare at me. And I was like, why is this kid staring at me for? Like, I don't understand. He would just like, it would be like this, like, I'd be sitting down and I'd be like fucking doing my work or whatever. I'll do my work and I'll lean over, talk to my friend, and then I look ahead and I just see him staring at me like this. Just sitting there, just staring at me like this. And I'd just be like, okay, hi, how are you? All right, I guess I'll go back over here. But my camera shut off because I only have a 9-minute interval to do these videos. So he'd be staring at me a lot, right? So then after a few months of this happening, I was really fucking freaked out by it, because he'd like, it wasn't, I don't know, it wasn't the kind of stare like, what, like, you know how sometimes you like don't like a person, you stare at them like ew, but it wasn't that. It was like he was staring at me like he was like as if he was fascinated by me, as I was if I was like some sort of weird new project that he had never seen, and he was like really interested. Like, he'd stare like this, he'd just be like, or whatever, and then like sometimes he'd like have a pencil, pretend this is a pencil, he'd have a pencil in his hand and he'd just be staring at me like this. And I'm like, all right, why are you looking at me like this? So either way, this happened for like months, right? So I would tell my friends, the 2 friends that are involved, I gave the other, my best friend at the time, I gave her the name Sky. And my other friend, I'll call her Christina. So I told my 2 friends, because they were my 2 closest friends at the time, I told them, and I was like, oh my god, the guy that I like, he keeps staring at me. I don't understand what this is, because he's kind of freaking me out, because I don't know why he's staring at me. So, they're both like, maybe he likes you and he's just like scared to say anything or whatever. I was like, nah, he probably doesn't like me, because he wasn't popular, but he was, at the time, okay, not saying that I'm popular or anything now, but look, I was the weird girl, alright? Nobody talked to me except me and my friends. So it was like, why would, like, because in my head I would think things like, oh, maybe he likes me and he wants to save me from everyone bullying me. Nobody really bullied me like that, but like still, it would say things like that, but you trying to be all stupid, duper romantic all in your head and shit. So, yeah, but at the time I was the weird girl. Nobody talked to me except my friends, so I would like constantly, like anytime someone that was of a higher status, I would say, talked to me or like looked at me or anything like that, I'd be like, what the fuck? Because, you know, that's not how it works in high school. Like, you stick to your shit. Nobody like does that. That's just kind of how it was at our school. So they were like, oh, maybe he likes you, and I was like, nah, he probably doesn't, because, you know, he's popular, and I was like, nah, he probably doesn't like me. And then they're like, well, why does he keep staring at you then? And I'm like, I don't know. And like, they were like trying to like egg me on to ask him out or like do something about it, and I was like, because I was fucking shy as hell, I was like, no, I don't want to do it, because I don't want him to reject me to my face. I don't want him to reject me to my face. But eventually, my friend Sky, I think she gave me the idea. She was like, well, you like writing, right? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, what if you write him like a love letter? Oh my god, this is so fucking cheesy. Yeah, she told me to write him a love letter, right? And I was like, well, I could do that. I guess I could do that, but how would he know? And she was like, write the love letter and then sign it as anonymous, so then maybe he won't know that it's you, so you won't be directly rejected. So then I'm like, all right, I guess that sounds like a good idea, but I don't have any way to give it to him, because I didn't want to give it to him personally myself, because then he knows me. So my friend Christina, she had a class with him. So she was like, oh well, I can give it to him for you. And I'm like, all right, well, I guess cool. This is a plan. I guess this is a plan. So I wrote a note. I don't remember exactly what it said. I wrote a note along the lines of like, hi, you don't know who I am. I really, really like you. Yeah. I said something like that. I was just like, I wrote like a little note and I folded it up and I gave it to my friend Christina, and she gave it to him. So I was fucking like nervous as shit. Next day comes along, class with Sky and Christina. I had a 3rd period with them, and we had English together. So we would talk, like, because we were friends, we would all talk together. We didn't have any classes, all 3 of us together, so we talked the most at that time. So I'm talking to Sky. Christina comes running into the class because she's late, and she comes running into the class. She's like, oh my god, you wrote you back. And I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, you wrote you back. And she gives me the note, right? And then they're all like crowded around me trying to read it, because she didn't read it. I think she might have, but you know, whatever. So it says something, I don't remember, but it says something along the lines of because I made him try to guess who I was. I don't know. I tried to make him guess who I was. So he wrote something back along the lines of I don't remember. He was like, oh, I think I know who you are. The basis of what he said was, oh, I think I know who you are. And I was like, what? How could he know who I am? And I was like freaking out again, because I was like, oh my god, he knows. And then they're trying to like, you know, disprove me or whatever. They're like, oh no, maybe he thinks it's somebody else, but he can't think it's you because you don't really like, you know, do anything or anything. And I was like, well, I don't understand how he would have known already. But obviously he did know. This is embarrassing. He knows who I am, so I'm like, oh shit. And then they basically convinced me to write another letter to make sure that he knows who he's talking to, because they were like, oh, what if he thinks you're somebody else and asks that person out and it's not you? And I was like, oh shit. So I guess I better write him back. I wrote him back something like, if you really know who I am, then tell me, and you know, shit like that. I don't remember exactly what it was. It was lame. So give it to Christina. Christina gives it to him. Next day comes along. Christina didn't give it to me in 3rd hour usually, like she did before, and she was like, oh well, he didn't write back yet. Freaking class passes, and then we go to lunch, and we sit at the table, me and Sky and like a few of our other friends, and then Christina comes after, like a little bit after, and she's like, oh, he wrote you the letter back. Fucking, oh my god, I was so pissed. He wrote the letter back and he gave it to me, and then he's like, oh, I know who you are and you're this girl, and he says it's me, right? So he's like, you're this person, and I'm like, oh my god, and then like me and my friends all freak out like, oh my god, he knows, and like I'm trying to like get them to shut the fuck up because we in lunch and he could have saw us, and I was like, calm down, hold on, wait a minute, everyone stop. So he said he knows it was me, right? So he didn't say anything negative at the time, so he knew it was me, and I was like, oh shit, okay, where do I go from here? What do I say to this? So I wrote him back, and I wrote something like, okay, so yeah, you got it right, this is me, and I really like you, and I want to get to know you better, or something like that. And I gave it back to Christina gave it back to him. He gave it back earlier, and because he gave it back to me, he didn't give it back to me, but he gave it back to Christina, who Christina gave it back to me at the end of the day. So, and like I said, we had last period together. So he was staring at me again that hour, right? And he was staring at me the same way that he was staring at me before, like he was fascinated or something like that. Whole entire 8th period, he stared at me again, and I'm like, okay. So then I'm standing in my locker, getting my shit, getting ready to go. Christina runs up and she's like, oh, he wrote you back. And he gave it to me, and I'm like, well, why didn't he just give it to me? He fucking saw me in class. By the way, she gives it to me, and I read it, and he basically says stuff along the lines of, I don't like you, stop writing me letters, you're being weird, or some shit like that. And I was like, I look back at it, it's like, I could have approached this whole thing a whole different way. Even if I did like the guy, I couldn't have fucking, I don't know what I thought was gonna happen. I mean, who writes letters nowadays? I mean, even back then, who the fuck writes letters? Like, did I really think that that was gonna work? I don't know. But basically, he rejects me, and he basically just sits there and says, he's like, I don't like you, don't write me letters anymore, you're weird. Well, I don't know if he said anything like that, but he basically just told me to fuck off. So, I read the letter, and my friends are like, oh, he rejected you, and like, oh, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, and like, trying to comfort me, and I'm like, oh, whatever, fuck it. Like, I tried to act like I didn't give a shit, because I'm a hard ass, and that's my exterior, act like I didn't give a shit, but I was like, oh, whatever, I crumbled it up, and like, put it in my book bag, and I left. Got home, when I thought about it, I was so fucking pissed. I was so pissed. I was like, why the fuck would you sit there and stare at me if you did not like me? Or what are you staring at then? Are you trying to like figure... To this day, I still don't understand it. Because after like 9th grade, he stopped going to the school. So I haven't seen him in like 3 years. So I don't know what the fuck he's at, what he's doing with his life. If you're watching this, you're probably not. But if you're watching this, what the fuck are you doing? No, as a matter of fact, no. I want to ask you guys. If someone sits there and stares at you throughout an entire period of like class time, and back then that was like 50 minutes of class, so you're just sitting there staring at me for 50 fucking minutes, what are you trying to do? Does that or does that not mean that you might like the person? I mean, because maybe I just got it wrong. Because maybe, look, inform me, because maybe I just got that wrong. I don't know. I'm mad, and I started crying, and I tore the fucking thing up, and I was like, fuck you. And I washed my hands at the guy, and never fucking started. I stopped liking him. It was all a mess. I didn't stop liking him because I still liked him 9th grade year, but you know what, whatever. You learn from your mistakes, goddammit. That was my story. This is the most embarrassing story I have. One of the most embarrassing stories I have of me getting rejected by the guy that I liked at the time. And now when I think back on it, that guy was probably an asshole anyway, because he was kind of like, he was the kind of guy who would try really hard to be black. Like, he would, like, wear the sagging pants and talk about rap music and talking slang and shit. And I'm like, this dude's kind of a fuckboy. When I think about it, I was like, yeah, he was kind of a fuckboy. I don't know what I was thinking. But you know what? You're just blinded, alright? See, this is why you're probably thinking, why did I mention the fact that I was a Korean dude at the time? See, that's what ties into that. I didn't realize how much of a dick he was until after he left the school, and I thought about it, and I was like, he was a dick. It's because I was blinded, because I was Korean blue at the time, and I really liked Asian guys, and I was like, oh, Asian guy, he's cute, yeah, that's kind of what went with that, and I am fucking dumb for that, and I really regret those days. If I could go back and punch myself in the face, I would love to do that. The gist of my story, that was me being embarrassed Luckily, he didn't like freaking say it to my face, because that would have been even more embarrassing. I mean, look, at least it was on paper, right? So nobody except my friends and probably his friends knew about it. I don't think anybody else found out about it because nobody in the school talked about it. After this whole thing happened, we kind of just dropped it. He would still stare at me in class though, so I don't understand. The whole thing dropped. I stopped trying to pursue him, but he would still stare at me. And I just fucking left it. And then he left the school, and then we never had any closure, so I was like, nah, fuck it. Yeah, fuck it. So, yeah. That's my story. So, if you want to hear, any more stories from my storybook, this is my storybook. Stories from my storybook, you can, like this video or leave a comment below, or do both. That actually helped me a lot more. If you do both, leave a comment and like the video and tell me what you guys thought about the story time, and tell me what you would have done differently if a guy was in the class staring at you all weirdly and shit, and you liked him and you thought he liked you. What you would have done differently, because I would like to hear you guys' opinions. So yeah, that's all I have to say. So if you like this video, you should like the video, because I say this in all of my videos. And I almost forgot my intro because I haven't done videos in so long. Ain't that a fucking shame? If you're interested in seeing more of my story times or any other things I do on this channel, you can hit that subscribe button down below, down there somewhere. Excuse me, my nose is stopped up. You can hit that subscribe button, and yeah, you can be up to date with any of my videos. I need to start making more videos, guys, because I miss making videos. I'm so sorry. And yeah, if you're interested in following any of my social medias, I will link those in the description box below. I'm thinking about making a new Tumblr, because I haven't been on Tumblr in a few years, and I went back to my old K-pop one. I don't really do anything on it, I just like reblog pictures, but I guess I could open that up for you guys. If I put it in the link, you can follow it if you want to, but you don't have to, because I might not even be like fucking like really on there. I'll probably make a new Tumblr just for this channel, and like just for the fans or whatever. If you guys are into that, you should let me know. And yeah, that's all I gotta say, and thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys for another video. Bye. And I'm gonna watch South Park, because South Park's on, and I really want to watch South Park. Alright. Bye.